Hello, everybody. I am Demetra K, and please forgive me for my tardiness. I had some other things to do, and I was just downright tired, right? But I was like, you gotta do something, because as I always tell y'all, I'm gonna be here Sunday through Wednesday, 5 p.m. Central Time, or 5:40 Central Time. But nevertheless, I'm here. But listen, we're not gonna be here that long, for obvious reasons. But I did want to come before you quickly. But I should also say that right off the top that the purpose of the Demetra K Show is to promote Black love, knowledge, and understanding of all things that go on in the Black community to make us an even better people, with the emphasis on even, because we're great people, but we can always strive to do better. Today we're going to be talking about a man, and I think he may be Haitian. I don't know. I think he is. Says that if Trump loses the birthright citizenship case, we as Black Americans may not get reparations. For some reason, people are tying reparations to the Birthright Citizenship Act. Of course, we'll briefly go into that as we did yesterday. Of course, you guys know that the Birthright Citizenship 14th Amendment issue is before the Supreme Court now. As before, Trump was told by a lower federal court that he could not, in a sense, get rid of birthright citizenship for immigrants. But the Supreme Court basically said that the lower federal courts did not have the right to make that call for all of the United States. They can only do it in their jurisdiction. So now the Supreme Court will look it over, as it is the job of the Supreme Court to interpret the law. So they are going to take, they say, until June or July of 2026 to determine whether they are going to allow immigrants to benefit, and I should say illegal immigrants, right? Not immigrants that are here legally, but illegal immigrants to benefit from the birthright citizenship, as the argument stands. And a lot of people are arguing, and I looked, and a lot of our politicians, I say I mean Black, they are not for Trump wanting to get rid of it, right? They're arguing for it's for everybody type thing. But basically, as it stands, if you have a baby over here and you're not legal, then the baby gives you some sort of a right to be here, because now the baby is considered to be a citizen, even though the parent is not here legally. So that's the argument. Will they keep it as it is? As it is, it was meant for freed people, so ex-slaves, babies, as Trump said yesterday. It's for slave babies. That's what it was meant for. But again, now people are trying to interpret it for a whole host of other things. So we'll briefly get into that. But I'll show you the video of the gentleman basically saying we're, and he says FBA ADOS, Black Americans are essentially screwed if Trump does not get his way in regards to changing the 14th Amendment to just be for slave babies. So in the meantime, let's see who is here. And listen, I should say this, and I meant to say this. I, in no way, trying to be divisive. This is not what this is about. This is just a conversation that we're having. Because I really want to make some clarity here as to the correlation that people are trying to draw rather with reparations and 14th Amendment. So this is not about being divisive. And it's not even really about how he's saying it. It's really what he's saying for us to get an understanding. So I just want to just make that clear. Albie Chill, how you doing? African Native, what's going on with you? As concerned citizen, how you doing? I'm trying, but thank you. Arneva, how you doing? Kevin, what's going on with you? Mad Dog, glad to see you. I'm just reading this comment. Okay, Julia. Let's see, Charmaine, how you doing? That's why I have to make that statement I just made. It says, who cares what a randomly speaking Haitian has to say? Shaking my head. Pop, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Daughters of something, and your names are kind of, it's not your fault, it's mine. It says, last time I checked, President Trump already said the 14th Amendment rights were really meant for children of pre-1965 American-based chattel Black slaves. Yes. CC, how you doing? Says, you MFers don't want to give us reparations anyway. That's why this country is falling. The first will be the last, and the last will be the first. Got you. Luna Rose, how you doing? Says, they be rage baiting for a buck. Okay. Jerron, how you doing? Says, that case has nothing to do with reparations. Buckhorse, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. So let's go ahead and get into it for the sake of time, because again, we're not going to be, see, I want to show you how it looks. on my end, right? So daughters of Eve and hater of, see, so I'm saying it take me a minute to kind of I don't know why it's doing that on my end, but it's crazy. So y'all please forgive me. Anyway, let's go ahead and get into it for the sake of time. So, of course, you guys know that this, as I said, the highly contested birthright citizenship thing is going on, the 14th Amendment. Who is it really meant for? Is it meant for the babies of slaves and the roars of Trump? Or is it meant for everybody else? Now, it basically says anyone born in the United States is automatically a U.S. citizen, except the children of foreign diplomats. We talked about this yesterday. This is called birthright citizenship. So it's either gives equal protection clause, states that states must apply the law equally to all people, right? So that's where they're having this kind of contention, is the all people type thing. Of course, they also must get a due process. They are guaranteed fair legal procedure. So that's where you hear a lot of people who are, even as of recently, sounds like they're in the immigration offices trying to get citizenship, or like they're right there at the step of getting citizenship. And then ICE is showing up and pulling them right out of line, denying them what they call due process, right? So, of course, talking about reparations, we know that reparations is to repair rather, for wrongs that were done to our ancestors during slavery, Jim Crow, and all of that, right? All the things that they've done to our people, and even after the plantation per se was over. So you have Jim Crow, redlining, FHA, discrimination, federal, state, and local harms to Black Americans from the year of 1776 to 1968, and so on and so forth, right? So I'm going to let y'all see what he has to say, and then we'll get into that.
If you are ADOS, American Descendants of Slavery, or FBA, Foundational Black American, right now the Supreme Court is weighing in on birthright citizenship. And depending on how they rule, will determine if you ever get your reparations. All right? If they rule against the Trump administration, goodbye to your reparations, because you mean nothing. Your citizenship really doesn't mean nothing. The 14th Amendment really don't mean what you think it means. All right? It means that anybody could cross over our borders, whether they're illegal or not, have a baby, and that baby become a citizen. And in turn, you have your tether label, right? So it's up to y'all. Like, y'all like to protest everything, but what are you fighting for? Are you fighting for your identity? Y'all making FBA and ADOS your identity. Now your identity is on the line. How will you respond?
Okay, so basically you heard him say, if Trump does not get his way in changing birthright citizenship just to mean for the babies of slaves, in his words, then we could basically hang reparations up. Because as he said, that means any and everybody can cross over and to the borders. And I don't know what the correlation, how that even came about, but there is some argumentation to that. So basically, some argue high levels of immigration dilute political support for reparations. So basically meaning that when immigrants come over here, especially if you're the Democrat Party or whoever it is, right? You're like, well, we got more of them over here, so we really don't have to keep lying to Black Americans about the HR 40 and all these studies that we got going on, like in California, which they really don't want to give reparations to Black California descendants of slavery. So basically, the more immigrants come over here, it's like, well, we already got people who are going to be aligned with us. They'll vote for and with us. And so we really can go about super ignoring Black Americans and not even have to have the reparations conversation, which is probably why you don't hear it as much. But maybe we'll start to hear it a little bit more due to, the mass deportation efforts that's going on now. And so certain parties like the Democrats might realize, oh, yeah, we need them Black people again, right? So they may. And the other thing is birthright citizenship encourages demographic shifts that push Black Americans into smaller voting blocks. So again, being that if birthright citizenship stands the way it is, then yeah, we'll become a smaller party. Again, as I said, a smaller voting block, and our vote won't matter much. Like, they'll be happy to have it, But the people that they're bringing in here, again, they're trying to get other people loyal to them being the Democrats, other people loyal so that they'll have another base of loyal voters. Again, we won't matter as much because, for one, let's keep it a buck, right? Black Americans, we still vote for the Democrats more than any other group of people. We still do that. So they automatically assume, well, we got them, right? Excuse me. And so the other thing is, politicians use immigration as a distraction away from reparations and discussion. So reparation discussion, rather. So we're not even really having, when I say we, I mean them. They're not having a conversation about reparations as much. They're talking about immigration. They're talking about immigration. They're fighting over immigration. They're doing a whole host of things in regards to immigration, but reparations, not so much. Again, California, we can always go back to California. They claim that they're doing some things for reparations, but again, there's no money on it. One of the things they did for reparations is the Crown Act, right? You can wear your hair the way you want to wear it. They kind of included that as a reparation thing. We didn't ask for that. We also got an apology from California, but they are not interested in giving us any money. So again, talking about reparations, I mean, immigration all the time is just not, something they want to continue to talk about in regards to reparation. But I said all that to say that reparations and the birthright citizenship case have nothing to do with each other. Even if Trump loses, reparations is not part of that at all. Whether 444,000 million immigrants come over here, Black American descendants of slavery are still owed and due our reparations, right? But then if you think about it from the other way around, the other people who are coming over here, yeah, they might be like, y'all don't need reparations. And in a sense, I get why they say that, because they're like, we're coming over, we're getting any and everything that we want. And then, of course, we hear this conversation, especially out of New York, about the reparations for African descendants. Well, any and everybody at that point, if you really break it down, could be a descendant of Africa, So it's really a distraction. Of course, you're going to start to hear that correlation more and more about birthright citizenship and reparations being tied together, and it's not. They're two different conversations. So I kind of want to briefly talk about this because we need to be cognizant of that. If people try to ram those two things together, it's like putting a square peg in a round hole, or vice versa. They don't go together. And if people who are immigrants that are thinking that, well, they're not going to get their reparations if birthright, nah, we going to get it, right? And the other thing too is, which is why you have a schism, unfortunately, right? I say unfortunately heavily, between Black Americans and others, is because it's like, our votes have helped them. It just has. Black Americans, the way we vote, help everybody else. But then it's like, y'all come over here. And again, I'm not sure if he's an immigrant. It just kind of, some of the things he's saying leads me to think that he is. But it's like, y'all come over here and y'all don't want to help us, right? Y'all actually want to kind of go against us, because if anybody should be rooting for Black Americans to get reparations, it should be other people that look like us from other places, because they're familiar with slavery. As we hear, slavery has gone on in all parts of the world, so they should be familiar with that. But to come over here and hate on Black Americans, wanting what was never given to our ancestors as what's due to us, it's wrong, right? So to try to tie those two things together, don't do that, because it's not a good look. It's not a good look for anybody who was trying to push that as, well, if it passes or Trump loses, then y'all screwed, so you better hope that it passes. It's like, well, it's not even necessarily that it passes. It's the interpretation of it, right? The all people. What does the all people mean? Again, going back to 1868, the legislators that did the 14th Amendment then, were they thinking in the future? That's the question. If I was on the Supreme Court, that would be what I would ponder. Could they and would they have been forecasting to 2025, thinking there may be an issue with immigration? I don't know. I wouldn't think that they would be thinking that. But again, reparations and the birthright citizenship have nothing to do with each other. And I hope people do not try to continue selling that to, in a sense, it's to, I don't know if it's to guilt Black Americans, to make us feel bad, to ha 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 ha. I'm not quite sure where that's coming from, but that was made for our ancestors, and we are the beneficiary of that, which in a sense gives us citizenship here in America, partially, right? Why we have citizenship, but to try to use that as a tool to taunt us, I don't know if that's what the meaning of it is, but that's wrong. So anyway, I'm gonna get in the comment section, see what you guys got to say. I ain't gonna be here too much longer because of time. Going all the way back to the top. Let's see. Albie Chill says the Creator will continue to curse this land until we are made whole. It's just the truth. You have to atone for the original sin, America's original sin of slavery. That has to be taken care of. You cannot do what you did to our ancestors and all the way up through Jim Crow and all of that, and even to this day, and not pay for that. You have to pay for that. That labor and all the things that were taken from my ancestors, it wasn't free. Nobody wanted to give that away, or have it taken from them. So yeah, daughter of Eve. Yes, that's, you know what? Thank you so much. He says you can still call me daughter of Eve, and I shall. Apex, how you doing? Says peace and love to those who give praise. Absolutely. Luna Rosie says they didn't help, nor do they intend to. When the help isn't helping, they are master of deception. Deceptive helping. Okay, Freddie, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. War, what's going on? He says, what does that have to do with reparations? Nothing. There's no correlation at all. But apparently some are thinking it is or it should be. Is like, we don't. Why do we have to fight for something that's already ours? You know what I mean, y'all? We better we need to fight for it. He says we're attaching our identities to certain things or whatever the case is, but that's not something we have to fight for. And why would anybody want to take that from us? See, that's what happens too when you have that argument of why Black Americans aren't really getting involved with the whole immigration thing, is because even with that, we got to fight for something that's already ours, because people who are here illegally are trying to use it for their benefit and say, well, F you Black Americans, I don't care what y'all do as long as I'm able to benefit from it. Then they wonder, and again, I'm not trying to be divisive, but I'm just saying, if y'all thinking like that, is like, Black Americans really ain't did nobody nothing at all, but yet we got to fight for something that's already ours. It makes absolutely no sense. Renaissance woman, how you doing? Says those are people who already have orders of removal. Don't let the media fool you. Yeah, sounds like. And then I saw too somewhere where I guess they're finding out that ICE is tracking people's phones or something like that, and they're through their car registration and a whole host of things. That's how they're able to pinpoint where people are. So it's a lot going on. Jerron says, I still say Trump ran with my idea about ending anchor baby citizenship. He says, I based it on European countries, if you remember. Okay. I don't, but I take your word for it. Primo, how you doing? Tell it like it is. Yes, it's fear mongering. What? I'm just reading some of these comments. Aniba says, that's wishful thinking on his part, but it's like, yeah, why wish that? Honestly, like Black Americans, we've not done anything to anybody. And I'm saying as a group of people to other people, we honestly just want what's ours. But then you have people come over here and now we got to fight for that. It's like, we got to fight y'all for what's already ours. And it's like, good luck. May the best man or woman win. It's like, it's already ours. It's like me going into somebody's house and they're in the middle of eating their T-bone steak, right? And they're getting ready to stick their fork in it. And I go into their house and I remove their plate. Thank you. Now you're going to have to fight me for this. They got a piece of steak on their fork, and then I snatched the steak off the fork too. It's like, why would they need to fight me for what already belongs to them? But I guess that's kind of what we got going on here. You know what, Albie Chill, all right, I'm just not. Apex, she says, if you haven't done your research on your family, get to it, family. Vital records and death records tell a story. Yes, like I said, I've done my research on our family. I'm done it myself, right? And I've gone all the way back to the 1700s so far. Ancestry on my dad's side in South Carolina, a slave to be exact. So yeah, and it's not hard to do. You just got to just start somewhere, right? Plug in a name and see if you can, keep going as far as back as you can, or whatever the case is. But yeah, all that is important. Politicians are not heroes. How you doing? Says that is not what the court case is about. And what are you talking about, if you don't mind me asking, because I know I'm behind. User, how you doing? Says Mr. The debt is recorded in heaven, not no judge ruling. Okay, so you're talking about the video. Okay. Buckhorn says, but my people don't care. We rock regardless. Absolutely. Loretta, how you doing? Said that's crazy. Kevin, what's going on? He says it doesn't correlate. It's just some Debbie Downer stuff to say. It is. JN, how you doing? Says we shouldn't have to share the 14th Amendment with no foreigner. I agree. But as I said, too, I looked, and a lot of the black politicians, they don't like that Trump is trying to end it for everybody. Because I was curious. I was like, you really don't see them saying much about it. And I looked when it became an issue, like at the beginning of the year and in May and stuff. So people like Hakeem Jeffries and what's her name, Yvette D. Clark, obviously, right? They don't agree with Trump trying to make it just for Black Americans per se. So yeah, in case you're wondering. Mars Dream, how you doing? Says that's not cool if they don't vote for what our ancestors fought and died for. Yeah, but we gotta vote for that. If nobody else votes for it, we have to vote for it, right? 23 Archer, how you doing? Says wishful thinking. They plan and God laughs. That is absolutely true. Going down, Venice Styles. Sorry about that. It says Black people were never receiving reparations in the first place. If this wicked, vile, evil nation didn't give reparations to the survivors of the Tulsa massacre, the BC ain't getting it either. Oh, we're gonna get it. We'll get it. You can best believe that. As it's saying the nation, you better watch the weather. Poppy said, your comments, boy, I just cannot. Loretta said, I'm not voting no more. No, vote for your state and local levels. Vote for that kind of stuff. I'm not telling you who to vote for, but definitely vote on the state and local level. You have to do that because those things affect us the most, right? I saw that in Dallas, and it's a pastor. His name escapes me. Haynes, I think it is. He's actually going to be running for Jasmine Crockett's old seat because she's running for the Senate now. He is very pro-reparations. Pro-reparations, even to the tune that Fox News was talking about. I was reading an article today. I guess they're trying to basically say he's a bad candidate because he's pro-reparations and, speaks about the ills that were done to Black Americans. So that's very interesting. If you live in, I think it's the 33rd district in Dallas, you might want to check him out, see what he's on. Glenn, how you doing? It's my pleasure. Thank you. Carrie, how you doing? Says FBA reparations are not up for debate. Totally. Overall, says having more people paying taxes will probably help in terms of paying reparations. I mean, they got it for everything else. All that money they send overseas and the money that they spent on illegal immigration and things, but they got to raise more money for us. You know what I mean? They got the money. They just don't want to give it to us. But see, when we organize, we'll get it. We'll get it a lot faster. Like I said, boycotting oppression with our dollars and stuff, that to me, that's a no-brainer, but that's not something we necessarily want to do. That's really the fastest way to do it. Getting out there in the street, screaming and hollering and stomping and stuff. Yeah, they used to us doing that because we'll do that temporarily and then we're going to go back in the house. But if we keep our money out of the hands of the people who are like, F you Black Americans, then we'll get our money a lot faster. Start voting as a block for our betterment and not for our oppression, like Dr. Claude Anderson says. If we start doing that kind of stuff, then they'll start to say, y'all say reparations. How much is y'all talking about again? Instead of, well, we'll never give reparations. See, right now, they will never give it because they don't think we'll ever unify. And there's a lot going on to keep us from unifying. In fact, I saw another article, I think it's the Washington Post, that basically talked about two Black Americas. And it basically was talking about the Blacks, and this is what they're saying, that's coming from other countries, and the Black Americans who are already here, and that I guess we have some sort of a schism. And I was like, okay, when white folks start getting involved, it's very telling. And I also saw Alex, what's his name? The one that got sued for a whole bunch of money because he said that Sandy Hook didn't happen. I can't remember his name. It skips my mind. But he posted some black dude who was talking stuff about the Somalis and said, see, even black Americans are tired of it. I'm like, oh God. Now white people done got wind of the beef per se. And it's like, it wasn't even kind of like originally our beef. The beef started with Trump and white folks and MAGA. And then, black Americans said something about it. Now white folks are like, look at them fight. So I don't know. I don't even know if that's a good thing anymore. Because they're involved, right? They're going to hijack it and it's going to cause more division. But at the end of the day, black Americans should be united amongst each other. Monet, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. McNiffy, what's going on with you? It says Black National Reserve, seriously. Okay. African Native says the black Greeks and black Jacobins cause distraction. I can see how you say that. In a sense, the black Greeks, the sororities and fraternities, they have been propped up as the mind and the excellence of black Americans or just black community, because there's different people from all over in those organizations. But we have started to wake up to that. Like, no, you're not. You just really been a gatekeeper, between us and white supremacy. They give them a couple of extra biscuits and they give everybody else. And they say, now go keep them in line. Go tell them, to do this and do that because you are the talented 10th in a sense, right? And so they'll listen to you. But a lot of us are like, nah, we good. Wow. Which is partially how Kamala didn't get in, right? She's an AKA and all of that. And they were really trying to get her up in there. Let's see. Cornelius, it says, cut the check now. Absolutely. Mike, nice. How you doing? I'm so happy to see you again. Of course, I'll be on the African Diaspora News Channel tomorrow at 11 a.m. I'm not quite sure what I'm going to talk about yet, but I'll figure it out. Calvin, what's going on with you? Says, call for restitution. Okay. Chocolate Bunny, how you doing? Says, my family deserves reparations because they knocked down my family house on our land to build oil and chemical plants. They built interstate parks and lakes on our land, and that's what they do. Especially in our communities, they run freeways and things right through it. Oh, you don't need that 20 acres. We're going to take it because we want an interstate. Like every black community, you will see an interstate, a freeway or something. They just decided, well, we're just going to put it here. They rarely do that in other people's communities. One place, I can't remember where recently, where white folks are, that they're trying to take their land to do a highway. And then they're also wanting to put one of those big old supercomputers in their community, like they got in Memphis. Elon's computers, one of them to be exact. He's trying to build 2. Now, if you know anything about these supercomputers, they run all the AI that we use, whether it's Grok, whether it's Chat GPT, whether you're making all these memes and these movies and this Google Gemini, all of that. The machines that push that stuff out to you, they need water, they need electricity, and they omit things that haven't even been tested, right? Especially there in Memphis, it hasn't even been tested, but it's not even assumed, but kind of known that those things let off cancerous and poisonous things, again, sucking the water from the community and also making people's water bills and stuff go up. And so it's a lot. So they're talking about putting one of those where it was, but it's some white folks community. It was like, oh, hell no. And it's like, but y'all okay with it when they putting it in our communities? You don't have nothing to say. In fact, you'll be the first one to say, hey, Grok, what does that mean? That's the X's, Twitter X. That's their chat bot when people would need to know, what color a banana is. They ask Grok, So yeah, Jen Mom, how you doing? Says, what did the Democrats do for blacks? They emancipated you because the Democrats were the Republicans before the New Deal switch. You better pray that Trump loses the birthright case. You know why? Why would we pray that he loses that? Blessed and highly favored, how you doing? Says, revoke this 1964 Nationality and Immigration Act ASAP. Okay. James, how you doing? Says, SCOTUS is now re-examining the 14th Amendment. Specifically, he says the meaning of the subject of the jurisdiction thereof. That is true. He says the central question is whether birthright citizenship applies to children born in the United States to undocumented parents or a temporary visa holder. That is true. So that's what Trump is saying. I don't want that to apply to that, because as he said, millions of people are coming over here and this, that, and the other. And so it's not the first time he said that that was meant for the babies of slaves. He said that before. So he's been kind of consistent with that. And that's what it was made for, you know. But again, the all people, what exactly does that mean? I'm thinking. Okay. Aaron, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Who else? Black Butterflies, what's going on? She says birthright, not for illegal immigrants or visiting. James, y'all say why this matters is simple. The long-standing interpretation of the 14th Amendment is foundational. Yeah, but now people want to, I guess, kind of get brand new. They, you know, it's for everybody. And it's funny that, especially our politicians, when I say ours, I mean black politicians, they don't even, you would think they'd be arguing on behalf of Black Americans, but they're not. You would think they'd be saying, well, you know, it is meant for Black Americans, but they won't. They're still, you know, putting on for illegal immigration. Patricia, how you doing? Says, why do we refer to R in your comment cut off? Okay, let's see. The one who cares, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Avenge the Ancestors, how you doing? Yes, indeed. Adi Head, how you doing? Says Day of Atonement. For real, for real. Retired, and some numbers, how you doing? Says they hoping and wishing that we fall to the level of an immigrant. We know we are the most hated FBA. And it's unfortunate. I don't even know what the fall to the level of an immigrant is, because again, there's a lot of people here legally that are immigrants, but the issue is illegal immigration. You know, Black Americans, we fought a whole lot of things, right? And you would think that people who are coming over here will say, hey, y'all, how y'all doing? Is there anything we could do for y'all? You know, because we may need y'all help, but it doesn't seem like it's that way. And it's sad because, unfortunately, again, the way we voted, and in some other cases, we have championed, and whether we like it or not, for illegal immigration, whether it's the way we voted or any other thing. We're becoming more cognizant of what we've been doing now, right? But yeah, Jessica Jackson, how you doing? He says, hey, Demetri K, got to catch this from the beginning. This is good as usual. Thank you. And keep on fighting. We got to have you come back on the show and tell us an update. I've heard about the $200 million that y'all found somewhere in the 2026 Chicago budget that's hidden, I guess, for new arrivals, immigrants. So I want to hear more about that because that's crazy. Michael, how you doing? He says they still have to get around the Freedmen document, so it needs to be freedmen of American slavery. Okay. Black Roger says immigrants are showing their love for white supremacy by standing in the way of FBA reparations. And look what white supremacy is doing to them. They're showing them that. I mean, Trump was in Philadelphia the other day showing his whole orange behind, not literally, but to the audience, he was talking crazy. I'm about Ilhan Omar, and you know, he repeated the S-whole country things because at first he was denying that he said it, but then he admitted that he was saying it, talking about some meeting they had about the S-whole countries. If we got people coming from there, we need to have people coming from white countries, essentially. So, yeah, white supremacy is not very kind to them either. Black man, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. So always praise the Most High. Yes, indeed. Stephen, what's going on with you? Raven, how you doing? I always says, get him out of here. Black Butterfly says illegal means not legal Christian. Okay. Kevin says people do squat in other folks' houses. After all, they do. You won't be squatting up in here too long. Okay. Because I will do. I call a muscle over here. Okay. We don't need to go to court. We'll do. I'm just saying, I'll be seeing those squatting stories and people, oh, they won't get out of my house. I don't know what to do. Shoot, you better call a friend who got some friends. That's all I can really say about that. But you won't be squatting in my house 5 minutes after I find out about it. But yeah. Thank you, Mike, for reminding people there are ways to help support the channel. Love and appreciate everybody who has supported, liked, shared, subscribed, and a whole host of things. Somebody sent me a donation last night, and they were asking me something. And if you're on here, you have to email me because I can't, I don't know how to get in touch with you at all. So you have to email me, DemetriK@gmail.com, DemetriK@gmail.com. Email me. Okay, so let me skip down a little bit, y'all, so I can catch up because I see him behind. Corey, how you doing? Says only reparations we getting is to get going to get is only when the Messiah come. I think the Messiah want us to get our money before that. You talking about the rapture? I want my money before that. I think he wants us to have our money too. Sister Shirley, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Says the people thought Jim Crow would never end. The saying goes never say never. Yeah. Well, has it ended? I don't know. Patricia says we are copper color indigenous to the land. We need to stop the black crap. It confuses our children. Now, see, that confuses me. The copper colored children. I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but that confuses me. I've always been told I was black by my black daddy, by my black mama. I've always been told that. I never had an issue with that. Now, again, obviously, I'm not black. Most people think nobody is this black, right? There's some very dark skinned people, but nobody's this black. But I refer to myself as a black woman. I don't take an exception to anybody who wants to call themselves anything other. It's not for me to tell you who you are. Apex says, I love being called black, the mix void of all families. But of course, says, I apologize, y'all. My typing, my phone small. That's okay. You got a flip phone? You got the not laughing, right? Because sometimes I wish I had that little you remember you have to text, you had to press was it three times to get to the D. Do 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 do, and all you said was hello. Again, those were the days, right? We weren't all sucked up into social media. Anyway, next and how you doing says if the dominant society refuses to give reparation to FBAs, the only thing FBAs can do is be mad about it. No, we ain't gonna be mad. We gonna get our money. Yeah, James, they found trillions in no time, but yeah, we got to hear we ain't got it. Ursa, how you doing? Says Foundation of Black Americans know who we are. We don't flee. We are Somalians in Somalia, taking care of who they are. Hey, Al, how you doing? Says Pastor Frederick Douglass Haynes is a regular on. Okay, so that's who that is. So he's running for Jasmine Crockett's old seat. And yeah, he's very pro-reparation. Now, like I said, I don't know much about him. I just kind of saw Fox News trying to let everybody know, hey, white people, don't vote for him. He's pro-reparations. And he said something about America, which was true. I remember what it was, but, they're really trying to alert them, he's one of those reparations guys. So, okay, thank you for that. Alex Jones. Am I that far behind? Oh, my God. Yeah, Alex Jones. That's who it is. Notorious Hebrew. How you doing? James Mitchell, what's going on? He says, I'm still here rocking. Wife, you, Demetra. My love, reparations is biblical. Yes, indeed. Well, I thank you for being here. And where have you been? It's been a couple of days at least. Ricardo, how you doing? So shout out to you, Demetra. Ukraine was about money laundering billions to them, and they kicked back millions to the Bidens in the back alley. Nobody speaks on that. Yeah, they got money everywhere except for when we asked for it, right? Patrick, how you doing? Says Black Americans have never been united with Black immigrants, rather, have never been united with us. So that article, yeah, I think that's largely true. I don't think many people have been united with us. I didn't really delve too deeply into the article, but I got the gist of it. So it's like, my thing is that they got a hold of it. And it's like, okay, now white people are picking up on the black beef, if that's what you want to call it. That's not feelings. How you doing? Says peace and love, family. Reparations is written in the destiny of the U.S. To save the U.S., reparations will have to be paid. Agreed. Totally. All right. Lark, how you doing? Says my people, I love y'all. I love you too. Thank you, James. I love and appreciate you for that. Thank you. Thank you. Every little bit helps. Mr. South Carolina, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Aaron says, Demetra, the fact that us FBA stay in their mouths should tell you that we're most definitely are an item. The folks and others can't get through their day without thinking about us. We're undeniable, aren't we? I would think about us all day long, too, if I were them. Let's see. Kelly, how you doing? Said, I hate AI. I'm not a big fan of it. I use it every once in a while, like on Google and things like that. But I'm not a great fan of it either. I'm not in the larger scheme of things. I've never been a fan of it. Even years and years before we got it really at our fingertips, I've never been a fan of AI. I hear a lot of argumentation for it. But I read an article the other day. It was like, yeah, people keep saying AI, 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 but there's things that AI cannot do. So it would behoove us as humans, right, to go do the things that AI necessarily cannot do. I'm not talking about like the white collar things, stuff like that. But we should be getting into that. As far as I know, they ain't got no robot that can do plumbing yet. I don't know. I don't know everything, so things like that. Queen Adia, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Says they also use a lot of energy. Yeah. But people don't care. They don't, humans, we're just kind of, we don't care until we have to care. We don't care that using AI the way we use it is harming humans. It's like, F those humans, in a sense, that's what it's saying. F humans. F humans. If you know anything about AI, we knew it would get here, It's really a matter of time before AI takes over. Sation is what they call it when they become self-aware. Some argue that it already is, right? But then if you think about it, are they self-aware in that they got humans like pulling the strings and giving them power in a sense over humans? So I don't know. It's just kind of a lot to think about. But I would never be a proponent largely over something that harms humans. That's just kind of how I think about it. RBG, how you doing? He says, who went to Trump about reparations for blacks? Ice Cube. Sure, quite a few people, but off the top of my head, Ice Cube did. Yes, African Native high frequency signals. That's what they let off. Jane, how you doing? Says one in Georgia. Yeah, they're everywhere. They're putting them everywhere. These things are huge. But I understand they're like what couple football fields. We're talking about these super AI machines that generate all this AI stuff. They're what, like a couple football fields in size. So in Memphis, now mind you, they got a black mayor who's okay with that. They want to put another one near in predominantly black neighborhoods where they always put things like that around neighborhoods, whether it's a dump, a toxic, dump site, or they harm the water. They always do that. So it's like, well, give them a supercomputer that will, suck the air from them. That's already polluted, But again, that's just not something we care about anymore. It's about, I don't know, making fake stuff. Space Cadet, how you doing? Says they run on energy only black people have. Pastor Phillips says, wow, Demetrius' skin is smooth like, oh, thank you. I appreciate that. I'm just playing. I'm tired more than anything. James says, interstate going through black communities by design. Oh, yes, definitely. You got to disrupt what they got going on. I mean, if you follow what's going on in South Carolina with the Gullah Geechee land, the Gullah Geechee, which I may be one, when I finish doing my research, I'll find out. They're always fighting for the land that they have left. Because, white corporations and things, they want to take it. Because back in the day when our people got that land, it was considered marshland that wasn't good. You couldn't do anything there. You couldn't grow anything. And then, of course, when we got a hold of it, now they want to turn it into waterfront property. We want to put housing communities. The waterfront is like, nah, y'all didn't want it when we got it. Right after the Civil War, there's people that still have their land. It's been in their family since the Civil War. And now these white corporations want to come along and say, oh, well, actually, yeah, we want it back. That's not how it works. Or they want to run a freeway through it. Land that's been there all that time. So yeah, y'all rules, how you doing? Says the spiritual now, no matter what they do will not work. We will walk out with great substance. The Most High is working for us now. I co-sign that. Larkin says, all praises to the Most High. Yes, indeed. Daughter of Eve says, the late, great Barry White warned everybody about the future of AI, and that's probably one of the reasons why. He says the PTB finished his life by shutting him up. PTB. Tell me what that means. Sherry says, oh, hell no, I pray that he wins the birthright citizenship. It's not our country. If not our country, will look like their countries. It will be Jim Crow all over again. Clown. You can, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Ross says supercomputers create a lot of noise, pollution too. Must be hell, like hell living next door to those facilities. Again, humans don't care. They care unless until they don't care until they put one of those in their neighborhoods. But when it's put in other people's neighborhoods and harming them, I don't care. It's the future. It's like the future. Like we're continuing to harm humans and the humans look like us. but we don't care. I'm not saying that AI is all bad, but the way that we consume AI now, to where they keep talking about they being the oligarchies, they're not putting that in their neighborhoods, but they need to build more. We need more power, like Frankenstein, right? More power. That's kind of what I see, Frankenstein. I need more power, to make Frankenstein work, right? But he needs more power. That's what those machines are to Frankenstein. We're creating monsters that not potentially, but that are, and will harm people. We need all the power for this machine so people could check out and not think anymore, not be creative anymore, not do any comprehension at all. I'll just ask Grok. I'll ask Chat GPT, and listen, those things are good to some degree, but we got people who 100% do not think for themselves anymore. And that they don't think for themselves anymore, it's harming somebody, because that draws from those super Frankenstein computers. People don't care though. Quinn Adai says every single person in this corporation is an immigrant except Yasharel. Okay. Patrick says blacks should fight for the 14th. In 20 to 30 years, these people will be saying it wasn't for you blacks. Well, they're saying it now. Right? James says, I saw a comment that said if there was no slavery, there wouldn't be no 14th Amendment. True? Yeah. That's true, right? Wouldn't even be an issue. Be minding our black business. Brother Don, how you doing, my triple OG moderator? Hope you're having a great day. Dave, how you doing? Says, why no one is talking about Trump, about reparations for us? Everybody got reparations, not black Americans. They aren't talking about it. It's been talking about. In fact, I'm going to dig into the crates when I have some time over the weekend, and I'm going to talk about Johnny Cochran when he was pushing for reparations in the 90s. See, people forget about all of that. That's just one era of it, So I'm going to do some more research on it. I remember when it was going on. My mom and them was all involved, right? These petitions, we going to get reparations. I signed it too, right? I think I couldn't have been no more than like 19, something like that. But I want to revisit Johnny Cochran and his efforts to get reparations for descendants of slavery. People don't talk about that much, So yeah. But it's been a conversation. Joshua, how you doing? Says if Trump is saying birthright citizenship specifically for descendants of slaves, cool, but it's ridiculous to say get rid of birthright citizenship altogether. Well, yeah, we don't want to get rid of it altogether, but I mean, we are Americans. Where would we go? Where are we supposed to go? Like I said, I've traced my ancestors as of to this point to the 1700s in South Carolina. So you gonna send me there? I don't know. But I get what you're saying. I'm still standing. How you doing? Says it was meant for us. We were and are and have always been the target by creating 13th and 14th was a setup as a trap to continue slavery. Others just got caught in the net, but we are the targeted people. Gotcha. Havoc, how you doing? Says reparations will be given. It's a debt that is, oh yeah, it's not if, it's when. We'll get it. Corey says every foreign hates us and nations, just like Bible says Democrats is worse than Republicans, even though they almost the same. Yeah, and Malcolm X told us that as well, because they're the ones that pander to us the most, and we get nothing from it. You crazy African native says, is Trump going to deport his wife? Now, Melania, be best. Did y'all see her reading the other day, A Christmas Story? Them kids was like, what? Them kids was like, excuse me? What did she say? Woo, boy. I know Melania is like, do I have to? That's crazy. The fact that is love and admire in many other countries when they realize the white media they're consuming about FBA is nothing like meeting a real FBA. I totally agree with you. Like I said, I went to the continent and they love us over there. Nothing but love. That's why I said don't believe the hype. Now, Brother Phil talks about it a lot. Like, it's some of them that come over here that get to acting brand new, right? Like, you Black Americans, but in the continent, they ain't nothing like that. Like, we good. I'm telling you, they love us. The minute we told them we from California, oh my God, I've always wanted to go there and this, that, and I'm like, no, you don't. You good here, I'm quite sure, right? But they love us. I did not have a bad interaction with anybody on the continent when I was there. Never one time. only interaction that was kind of negative was the guy who owned the Airbnb. Was very nice, right? And then he just didn't like his own people. He's South African. He didn't seem to like his own people much. Just like, be careful, don't go out there because they're gonna do this, and you guys can't go out at night, and they just don't want to do this. They're lazy and that. I'm like, damn. But I didn't find any of the stuff he was saying. Guess he's, feels like he's different. Zap, how you doing? Says the majority of Africans voted Democratic, especially for Obama and Harris. Don't know where the FBA hate came from. I think it's probably always been there. It's just been high. Social media is highlighted a lot of things because the things you hear now, people probably always have said, but now you really, saying it with their thumbs on the internet. Ward, how you doing? Says the CBC is nothing more than a Greek society, sorority, beltway, social club, just to hang out with Black Hollywood and the bourgeoisie of Martha's Vineyard and Sag Harbor. Whew. Said a lot there, but yes, indeed. Lovely. How you doing? Says no birthright citizenship for foreigners. James says, good evening, Sister D. Yes, get them out of here. They are a disgrace. Well, I won't say all of that, but I think if you're here illegally, you should come back the right way. Yeah. Notorious Hebrew, he says hands and feet will be applied. You know what I'm saying? You all up in here talking about you squatting and stuff. Get your stuff, because if you don't go willingly, you will go. I'm just saying, Jane, how you doing? I just, when I see those stories, it's just like, what in the hell is going on? You asking them to leave your house? Huh? Quan, how you doing? Says about to make some food. Not to repeat myself, but read a short read called Compass Rolls Out of the Desert Solitaire by Edward. Let me write that down again. Abby. Great. Compass Rolls. Because I like books, believe it or not. Says by Edward Obey. Great read. Abby, rather. Great read from a long time ago. Makes one think about today. Okay, Emmett, how you doing? Says Colorado has already started instituting black codes. They never went nowhere. They went dormant, but black codes never disappeared. Never. They trying to bring it back now, especially if you're on X, which, X is just, I don't put a lot of credence into it. It's just a bunch of white people lamenting and being mad about everything black, but it's like, go argue with your mom over it because we really don't care type thing. But they trying to, make it hot and popping again. But as I saw one brother say, he was like, well, if y'all feel so froggy and you want this, race war to start, jump it off then. Get off of Twitter and X with all that. Jump it off. If you're really bad, they not. So, yeah. Brother Don says, I'm getting the hell out of Babylon and returning to the historic Negro land. And where is that? Maybe I want to go. Speed, how you doing? Walaikum salam. Queen of Dice says they tend to be pro reparations until they are told don't speak on it. Then they got amnesia. 313, how you doing? Says long live the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. Absolutely. Yes, indeed. You crazy. African native talking about AI is a Karen. Albert Chill says, do you see what those Korean executives said about it's inspired from Black Americans? Yeah, like who wouldn't be able to look at that and tell, right? Most of them look like a Michael Jackson from every decade. Right? And then they don't really speak a lot of English, but the English they do, they got all the, as they call it, African American vernacular or whatever it is, right? That's what they call it. But they don't speak English. Of course, they're inspired by us. Herb, how you doing? Says the Honorable Elijah Muhammad clearly states that reparations the Black man in America wants is more than a check. Yes, absolutely. We want it all. What? Brand new socks and drawers. With that, we want it all. So 100%. In the end, Crow, how you doing? Says hi, Demetria. We are many shades of brown, black, and white. Our status in law. That's true. Like I said, I'm Black. I consider myself to be very Black. Laura Flawless, how you doing? Says if they're tired of hearing about reparations, they give it to us. You said that basically then give it to us. We might shut up all day. I won't have nothing else to say. I promise you that. Corey, how you doing? Brian, what's going on? He says you have to deserve something. You have to deserve something, you freeloaders. Tell me that you're missing a chromosome without telling me you're missing a chromosome. I am still standing, said the 14th Amendment. Was meant to ensure slaves continue being born on paper and slavery continued through this 13th Amendment on paper. Others got caught in the trap set for us. 13th, 14th Amendment, so-called blacks. Yeah. So 13th Amendment, talking about slavery abolished except for by, imprisonment, things like that. So yeah, I got what you said then. Absolutely. Earth Angels, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Larry, what's going on? Since the 14th Amendment has nothing to do with reparations. I totally agree with you. Raven says, Matthew in North Carolina, outside of Charlotte, mostly clear folks said no data center for them. That's where it's at, North Carolina. No data center, and they raise hell. So are they going to get it, or are they going to move on? That's what I want to know. But they were appalled. They're like, we have water issues already, but y'all want to put this thing here that's going to suck the water that we're already fighting for. Like, why would you do that? But again, and I saw that story, I was like, interesting. Because y'all don't raise hell when they do it in black communities, whether it's a trash dump, toxic something, this, that, the other, horrible water source, Flint, right, being directed to a whole city when they had water that was decent. Nobody really raises hell about that. But when it comes to their neighborhood, but see, the other thing is, as I always say, white folks, they show up to these city planning meetings and the city council and say, oh, hell no, homie. You ain't putting that there. Whether it's a pawn shop, checking the cash, liquor store, whatever it is, that you ain't putting that up in our neighborhood. Us, we find out that they done put the last nail up in the damn ground before, whoa, what is that? Oh, it's a super machine. And every time some idiot on Twitter says, Grok, what does that mean? That means we're going to harm the environment that you live in, and it's going to make life harder for you. Then we say, well, we don't want that here. You think we're going to tell Elon Musk all those millions, probably billions, I don't know, dollars he's giving us? You think we're going to tell him to come pick it up? So yeah, we got to be proactive and not reactive. I'm just saying. That guy from Texas, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Let's see, Geechee Dan Buford. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Kelly, how you doing? Says, that's why I don't touch it. I prefer to use my brain. Yeah, I mean, it's good sometimes, but you got people who that's all they do is just rely. Like, my God, why don't you just unscrew your head and take your brain out and just punt it up the field, okay? You don't need it anymore. You don't think, like, sometimes I have conversations with people, whatever, and I'm like, what's wrong with you? Like, you don't know what this is. You can't decipher for yourself. Like, it's weird. It's weird. Now, I deal with students sometimes. I won't tell y'all how, but I do. And I can always tell when they're using a chat bot. I'm like, why? Why are you using a chat bot? Because they don't think I knew or I know. Like, I understand AI when AI is doing things, and this is not your effort, So yeah, Arlie, how you doing? Says y'all not getting reparations. Marvin, how you doing? Says I see AI the same way I see NFTs. It's a soon to be dead trend. I think AI is here. It's made life so much easier for everybody, in a sense. The people who are using it and making money. Terrell, how you doing? Says you missed your calling. You have a great sense of humor. You think so? People say that to me all the time. I'm like, I don't know if I'm trying to be funny. I think I just don't give a damn. I should though. Doug, how you doing? Says they love our money only. Yep. Separation Nation, how you doing? Says they love me in Tanzania when I lived. That's what I'm saying. Y'all got to go. I ain't telling y'all to go over there. I don't want nobody getting mad, try to hunt me down. Whether I'm just saying, go over to the motherland and see for yourself. I'm telling you, the food is better. You don't taste the chemicals. I've got to a point where I could taste chemicals in food. It's so, my daughter thinks I'm bugging. I'm like, no, for real. I could taste chemicals. She's like, something wrong with you. I said, I think something happened to me. My taste buds where I could taste chemicals and a lot of things I just don't want to eat. But over there, you don't taste all the chemicals and the preservatives and stuff that they put in the food. Is so good. I'm telling you, if you go over there, you're going to be amazed, because just like they hear bad stuff about us over here, we hear the bad stuff about them. Somebody even have the nerve talking about that. Y'all gonna see some jungles over there. I'm like, well, we're not going to the jungle. So you mean like when the plane land, we just gonna be in the middle of the jungle? It's just like gonna automatically be in a safari? Like, what are you talking about, right? I'm thinking we're gonna see giraffes running through the doggone next to the Airbnb. I didn't see no jungle because I didn't go to one. Now I went to a botanical garden and I wasn't close to no jungle, but that's the stuff we heard. It's like you ain't even been over there talking about you're gonna be in the jungle. America's a jungle. So yeah, no reparation, no vote. How you doing? Bougie Barbie. I like that name too. How you doing? Derek, he says Obama is an FBA. No, he is not. He is not. Make 007, long time no see. How you doing? Says there's really no birthright citizenship policy. People misuse the 14th Amendment to have children here illegally. Yeah, and they trying to keep it. Big L, how you doing? Says delineation is working. You think so? Doug says on Gambia and Ghana, 6 FBA sisters unalived and their property stolen. Africans only love our money. Well, you know how big Africa is? It's actually bigger, but white folks chopped it up and all. It's Africa. So you talk about that's a drop in the bucket of things compared to the good things that go on there, just like here, right? They say don't go over there, black people. They, in America, they gonna do this and that to you. That's a small drop. Africa has 54 countries. Now, I'm not dismissing what happened to those Black American sisters is terrible. Hopefully whoever did that will pay to the fullest extent of the law. But we acting like America's utopia. I'm just saying. But I hear what you're saying, though. Aaron, thank you so much for that love and appreciate you. Says, we're the chosen people. You better tell them again. Hey, Bakari, how you doing? Thank you, thank you. Poppy says black taxis is unalived and well still if you're in America. It says black taxis is alive and well if you're still in America. So he said like black taxi cabs. Is that what you're saying? Facts on Feeling says Grok is garbage. If you want real AI, use DeepSeek, Manus AI, and others outside of the West. They're more accurate and cheaper. Good to know. Like I said, I don't know a lot about the different systems, but I know about AI in general. Sean, how you doing? Says black men act like women. You ain't getting. I can always tell when it's Wednesday because I just don't even have a fight. I don't have a dog in me. When it comes to Wednesday night, I just don't have a dog in me like that. Now, had it been Tuesday night, yeah, all day. Oh gosh, I just see I'm over time. Cosmic Candy, what you laughing at? I'm sure it's something crazy. I said Dynamic Quality Universal Sonor, how you doing? Hope you do it well. Mark Queese, how you doing? Says it's the new internet. Talking about what AI is the new internet. Yeah, I was logical thinking, how you doing? Says a lot of folks don't think for themselves. They don't. And those are people trying to make decisions for you and me. The people who's getting AI to think for them. They want to tell you what to do. It's like, nah, I'm good. Thank you. See, because when we lose our ability to think, you can hang it up. And that's what they want. They want to control the TV, social media, give you Grok, get everybody hooked on AI. And when they need a simple question answered or something, they'll go ask it. And they don't have to think for themselves. Like it doesn't take anything to think, energy to do that. What is 2 plus 2, Grok? You know what I mean? It's like, you don't know that? It's 6. I'm just playing. But the point is like, you'll eventually get there. Like, I don't even know no more. Mr. Parallel, how you doing? Says birthright citizenship has nothing to do with reparations. It's solely an immigrant issue. Totally agree with you. I'm glad that we are all on the same page here. Aaron says AI is just a tool, nothing more, nothing less. Yeah. Some people it's a little bit more. It's enough for them to be putting those big giant supercomputers in people's neighborhoods. It ain't no calculator. You can believe that. Jersey Drive, how you doing? Says no thanks. I'll be here on the East Coast of America. I mean, I'm not telling nobody to go. I'm just saying, Hey, Jerry, how you doing? Said Dr. Livingston. I'm just telling you my experience. When I went over there, I loved it. I cannot wait to go back. They're great people, very friendly, very nice. I tell y'all, and all the time when I was over there was a guy, South African. He would carry a stack of books, like all the way up to under his chin, like by his waist. He's carrying them around. He's selling these books. So I asked him, because I would see him walking around the area we're at, and I asked him one day, I said, why don't you like get a cart or something to carry the books? And he's, no, because I don't want to get comfortable. He says, if I get comfortable and I put these books in like a wagon or something, he said, then I won't want to sell them as bad. And when he said that to me, it blew me away, because he's right. He's like, if I put these books down, then I'm not going to be reminded that I need to get rid of them. And they weren't like brand new books. They were just books, different, of all walks of life or whatever, just different kind of books, used books, I should say. And he's like, yeah, I don't want to lose the hunger. I don't want to be comfortable and not make any money today. And I never forgot that. Never. I'll find that picture one day and I'll show it to you. But it was just the simplest things just amaze me. Maybe because I'm just simple. Gossip Bay, how you doing? Says Obama's mama is FWA. Okay. Long as she ain't NWA. George, how you doing? Says we weren't getting reparation anymore. When, like I said, when the checks roll out, man, just leave your check. Leave your check on the table. Don't touch it. Don't show up. Say, just split my check up. You don't think we getting it? Don't show your behind up to collect a check. That's all I'm saying. So you got to put your money where your mouth is. Because some tell me if the checks start rolling out, when they start rolling out, you're going to be the first one in line, going to be elbowing everybody and their mama to get your check. So don't be on here fronting. I'm just saying. Dynamic quality saying hello to everybody. Well, hello. Spock says, hey, dynamic quality universe. Demetra loves, and I love your mama. How about that? And guess what else I love? I love this block button. Because they going to keep on making, what do you call it, emails? And I'm going to keep on blocking you. Papa Nally, how you doing? Papa Naya, rather, how you doing? Long time no see. James says, the chosen is the tribe of Judah to bring Yahweh's words to the world. Something I read recently. Correct me if not. I ain't got it in me to even decipher that. Maybe if I ask Grok, I'm going to ask Grok what that means. I'll just play. Pop, no, I wasn't talking about your mama. Somebody Spock. I blocked Spock because he was acting crazy. So he says, I love Trump, but I said I love your mama. And then I'm going to love to block you. So not your mama. But I love your mama too, Pop. Okay, I love my mama. I love your mama. I love the mamas. Brother Don says, I returned from Burkina Faso a month ago. I can't wait to receive my permanent residency and return to leave. See, Brother Don, the Black American, he's like, I'm out of here. Okay. Sanchez, how you doing? Says, honestly, that man with the book concept wasn't prolific, because if you're hungry and you need to sell your books, no matter how you transport the books. No, yeah, it does. I got everything he was saying. Because when you are carrying the books, instead of, you're towing them in a like a wagon or a crate or something like that. Yeah, you can sit down, you're comfortable, but I got what he was saying. I thought that was so profound. It really was, that I'm holding these books, and it's reminding me I got to hustle. Because if I don't hustle, I don't eat, right? And there's a lot of people who walk around with that mentality. I'm mentally sitting down all the time. I'm mentally carrying stuff in a wagon. But no, you got to be on your feet. If you're not on your feet, you ain't gonna eat. That's what I got, right? So I get what you saying, but like I said, I got a sales background and I understand the hustle that you got to be hungry. I'm not saying hungry to where you do certain things, because those of them sell people out there who do any and everything that's wrong, and they end up going to jail and all kind of stuff without the bail because they doing nefarious things to make a sale. But what I'm saying is you got to be hungry. And there's a lot of people just ain't hungry no more. I understood what he was saying. I totally got what he was saying. It is profound. You got a lot of lazy mofos that's sitting down Why can't I wish? Because your ass is sitting down all the damn time. That's why you ain't got what you want. You comfortable. So he said, I don't want to be comfortable. Yeah, I know. Hell, they had carts everywhere. You got people carting fruit around and a whole lot of stuff they doing, right? So I'm sure finding a cart for him or whatever it was wouldn't have been hard, but I got what he was saying. And I think we had that conversation for a reason, because that was a lesson I never forgot. So I'm not going to discount what that man was saying. I think it's a hell of a message. Because if most people, I'm not saying you should be uncomfortable all the time, but a lot of us are just too comfortable. As I said, my brother Walter, who said he was going to come back on here sooner or later, we'll wait and see for that, right? But again, I always tell this story because it is profound. He said he had a friend who was broke. And his friend said, I ain't got no money. I don't know what to do. My brother said, do you have a couch and a TV? He says, yes. He says, then sell them, because you can't afford to sit down and watch TV. See, you too comfortable. How the hell you broke and you scrolling through Netflix and all that and you broke? Broke people don't deserve to watch TV. Right? Because if you watching TV, that's something you like, you're taking time away from getting after it. So I got that. I'm not one for the excuses. And trust me, I'm not saying that as though I never had excuses. I've had excuses before, but when I stopped making excuses, my life got better. So we got to be on that frame of mind. But yeah, I'm going to find that picture one day and I'm going to show it to you. Very meaningful. Pop, roll one up for me. I don't smoke, but sounds like a good time nevertheless. William says, good work you're doing. Oh, I appreciate that. I totally appreciate that. So yeah, Dynamic, it says watching TV is one of the most toxic things you could possibly do. Yeah, so it's toxic and you're broke and you're sitting down, doom scrolling through the television and you broke. Then you get on the phone, man, I don't know what I'm going to do. I ain't got no money. Because you sitting down watching TV all day. Broke people shouldn't be why you shouldn't even have no TV. TV should be something that you earn. I watch TV every once in a while. I don't watch it all the time. I probably watch TV a good, 3-4 times a week. Okay, I'll be honest here. I watch TV. I watch YouTube every night at 7 o'clock. And I watch Phil on African Diaspora News Channel, which is going to be on in a minute. I should get off so I can watch it. But that's what I watch regularly. Monday through Friday is Brother Phil on African Diaspora News Channel. Other than that, I sparingly watch TV here and there. On right now, Landman is one of my favorite shows. So I watch stuff every once in a while, but I'm just not stuck to the TV all day. There's sometimes my daughter and I don't even turn the TV on. We're just sitting on the couch and we don't even watch TV at all. She reads a lot. When she's not working, she reads a lot. And I'm researching or doing something, but we rarely watch TV. When she was a baby, up until maybe she was like 3 or 4, maybe 5, we didn't even have a TV. She didn't watch TV. Then one day I got her TV with the little VCR thing in there and she watched, Barney and all that other stuff, but she didn't have TV in our house for a long time. Because I didn't grow up watching TV. Being in the Nation of Islam, we weren't allowed to sit in front of the TV all day long. And TV went off when I was a kid, So I'm not conditioned to watch TV. And I'm not shaming anybody who does. But like I said, if you're struggling in life and you got a television, that's all I'm saying. So anyway, let me get out of here. Love and appreciate every last one of all your average article thinkers. As I used to tell my brother, you don't deserve to smoke weed. You broke. You haven't earned the right. And they probably broke because they smoking weed. Weed ain't cheap. I've never smoked weed, so I'm probably speaking above my head. But if it ain't cheap, it ain't that nickel bag of funk that people used to get, right? Again, I'm speaking above my head. But it's not. So you broke and you smoking weed? I think there's a direct correlation. So anyway, yes, indeed. We can be here forever, but please join me tomorrow, 11 a.m. on the African Diaspora News Channel. I'm going to have a great conversation. I promise you. So anyway, have a great rest of your day. I love and appreciate every last one of y'all. Peace.